Welcome to the HVAC God live show. Getting started a couple minutes late here, but thank you guys for joining us. Feel free to say hello in the chat where you're located. That's always fun to see. And tonight's a big night. We're going to be doing a celebration. We're going to be doing some giveaways, and we've got some amazing guests that are going to be popping on as well. So first of all, thank you to you guys. Thank you for the subscribers. We hit 150,000 a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to do something special for it. So um we we did a huge giveaway at 100,000 subscribers, and we will again when we get to 250,000. That's the next big one where we're going to give away a pile of stuff. But tonight I've got some thermostats, I've got some hats, I've got a Milwaukee knife we're going to be giving away. So some, you know, little knickknacks here and there just to say thank you to you guys and so on. So uh before I bring on Tony, one of our most requested return guests, I'm going to just real quick share a story with you guys just to kind of get the night started. And so this story I thought was interesting. I almost didn't do a story this, because we're celebrating tonight, but I saw this pop up on my feed and I thought it was interesting. So this is very recent. This was just last week. It says, employee allegedly stole $160,000 from an HVAC company. A former employee of a Lancaster County heating and cooling company was accused Monday of stealing from the business by creating bogus jobs to complete, but instead did work under his own business to pocket the funds. You ever heard folks say you almost gotta keep up with all your lies and keep lying to keep the lies going, and it takes more effort just to try to keep up with everything than just telling the truth sometimes. And this sounds like one of those deals. I mean, I can't imagine. For me, when I had my little small business, it was enough to keep up with just that. I couldn't imagine also trying to keep up with these side jobs that I was lying about. But man, after getting the HVAC parts needed for the bogus jobs, Leslie Scrivens Jr., he allegedly did this, by the way. Let's just say that. So, cover myself here, of Dover, would install them by himself under his own business called LNS HVAC, police said in charging documents. So pretty crazy story. Very early on, if we get more news about this, it says about over $160,000 was allegedly pocketed. So he was doing just fine, right? That'll buy you something nice. So yeah, pretty crazy story there. Created 17 fake jobs. Wow. So 17, what's the math work out to there? That's like almost $10,000 per job, right? Am I doing my math right there on that? That's crazy. So maybe he was selling like full on big jobs. And wow. Says he's facing 2 felony charges. He is out on unsecured bail, blah, blah, blah. So pretty crazy story there. I'm not a fan of, folks that, if he wants to start his own business, go start your own business. But, sometimes when you do things like this, it catches up to you, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, pretty crazy. Let me switch back to, well, let me just remove that for now. We'll bring up Tony in just a second here, but James says, is this Josh's last show? Man, I hope not. I hope not. We're just getting started in my mind. So we're doing a little celebration tonight, and I'm going to bring Tony on in just a second and give away our first item. But Brian said, hit the like button. Please do. That always helps. Ryan says, with Charlotte's pricing, that's about 8 to 10 full systems installed. Haha. LOL. So expensive here now. Yeah. It's not getting any cheaper, my friend. Manframe says, and Larry, good to see you, says, we are in a sub-zero cold snap in Michigan. Frozen pipes for some people. Yeah, so we've got Tony joining us, and he was gracious enough to join us. I had a few other guys that were going to pop one as well, and they're all like, one guy's still working as we speak. So he told me, he's like, man, I'd love to be there, but I just can't. And I was like, I get it. You get a pass. So anyway, let me bring Tony on here. For those of you that don't know Tony, I normally do a long introduction, but this fella needs no introduction. He is someone, whether he knows it or not, I look up to him. I follow his content, and he's got one of the fastest growing HVAC related YouTube channels. And I don't know what else you do, Tony, but definitely YouTube. That's where I follow you. And let's just welcome on the host of HVAC TV YouTube channel, Tony Mormino. Let me hold on, Tony. Let me get my crowd going here. I like it. I like it. Hello, sir. How are you?
Man, hello. It was worth coming on just to get that welcome there. That's amazing. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here from the new modern YouTube studio I have behind me.
I know. And before you got on, those of you that don't know, I was telling Tony, some people pay to have backgrounds like that and they're green screens, and this is just Tony's daily life back there.
This is the cabin. It's the real deal. My wife made it look like an old-timey cabin, like an apothecary. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me, and congrats on the 150. That's awesome. It's taken me like 5 years to just crack 20,000. I thought that was a big deal, but 150, that is really, if you're watching this, that is an amazing accomplishment. So well deserved. And thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on the show, actually. Thank you so much. So,
oh, thank you for that. Yeah. I think it's one of those deals where, like, you know, I think one of my secret weapons is I have a broader audience than some, because you're much more specialized, and I would even argue that your content is much more valuable to the trade, but you're only talking to us, to this audience, if that makes sense. You know, I mean, you're going to get to 150,000 in no time anyway, but I get to talk to, you know, mom who's about to buy a heating and air system. I feel like there's a lot more moms than there are, you know, Tony
design
mentees.
Engineers, HVAC design engineers. Yeah. Yeah. Probably just a few more.
So, So Tony, if you don't mind, let's do our first giveaway, and I'm going to get your help if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. I love doing giveaways. They're a lot of fun.
And so I'm going to give the folks a choice because I've got a couple thermostats that I've had sitting in my office forever. Okay. I've got a Nest thermostat here.
Nice.
And it has never been opened. The plastic is...
How are those? Have you used those before?
This one has never been opened. And it's the only one I've ever owned. But I will say this about Nest. I had customers at my company that they were hardcore, right? I mean, it's just like the Ecobee folks, the Nest folks, if they like what they like. So
that's right.
You get a choice. If you win this first giveaway, then Brian says he will be quiet. So we all have our preferences, right? So so you're going to get a choice. You're going to get a choice between a brand spanking new Nest where the packaging has not even been, it's not even been, what is it they used to say about the baseball cards that hasn't even been creased? This is, the packaging has not even been torn or anything.
It's
or
legit.
If you'd prefer,
you didn't get that from the guy who was stealing from the company, did you?
Yes, sir. He sold it to me, good price. Yes. Just kidding. You got to be careful, just even kidding these days, right?
That's right.
And then the second thing I'm going to offer, nobody may even want, but I was kind of going through my office and I said, I would want this. So I'm going to offer it. And so your other option that you're welcome to is I have this thermostat has been discontinued, Tony. And it's a Honeywell D6 is what it's called. It was the OG. There's several other ones out now of thermostats that control ductless units, and this one is not unopened. And the reason is I did multiple videos with it once upon a time. It's still brand new. It's never even been turned on, but as you can see, the packaging is worn and it has been opened multiple times. So
Now here's the question: will you sign it? Will you sign the thermostat so people
upon
can have
request,
the
if someone
famous?
says please sign it, then I will, but I don't think anyone's going to do that. So
Maybe sign the box.
they're going to be like, we want Tony to sign it. Ship it to Tony first.
Nobody
So,
wants Tony signing anything. Trust me.
I do. So there's your choices. You're going to get a choice. Whoever wins this first one is you're going to get a choice between a brand new Nest, never opened, or a Honeywell D6 that will work with almost, I say almost because I'm sure there's always exceptions to the rule, but an almost new, it's been opened, but never turned on Honeywell D6. So there's your choice. Now, here's how this is going to work. I did this once before, Tony. And the way we do it is you're going to write down a number. Now, don't write it down yet because we're going to look in our chat. We're going to see how many people are in here. And then you write down a number. And so that nobody thinks we're up to something or we're playing favorites, everyone can see the chat. Or at least I hope you can. I can see the chat for all three channels. And so the way it works is whoever says the number that Tony, as soon as you see it in the chat, you can just stop us. Just say, hey, there's my number, right?
Got it.
So, but everybody only gets one vote. So Brian doesn't get to jump on here and go 1, 2, 3, 4 and just flood the chat. You get one number. And if nobody picks the number that Tony wrote down, then we're going to do it again. Okay.
Just keep going. Yeah.
That's how it works. Now, if two people write down the same number from once I say go, if two people write down the same number, that is the right number. It's whoever got it in first.
First
so
one.
Brian
wins.
already said 3, but he's too early. So he jumped the gun, right? So all right, so we currently have 16 people in the chat across all three. We're streaming to both YouTube channels and Facebook, and we have 17 now. So 17 people are in the chat. So Tony, if you don't mind, write down a number. But do you have something handy to write it down or put it on your phone? Perfect.
Old-fashioned notepad and pen.
Perfect. So you'll be able to hold it up in front of the camera and nobody will think you did something.
That's right.
You write down a number 1 through 17 and everybody else wait just a moment. As soon as Tony says he's ready, I'll say go and you write down your number and you can win one of these thermostats.
Okay. I'm ready. I've got the number.
Okay, go.
So they're putting numbers in the chat. And when I see the number that I wrote down, I'm going to call it.
You got it. Yep.
All right. We got Bradley says 4. We got a 16-8, 7 from James. Gary says 17. Taylor says 8.
Nobody has your number yet?
Ryan says 16. No one's got it yet. All right, folks. This is for the Nest, right? This is for the Nest?
It's either the Nest or the D6, whichever one they want.
Whichever one they want. Okay, a Nest or a D6. Number 1 through 15. First one to guess it wins it. We got 18, 12, 17, 8, 16, 7, 4. 3 and a 6. Still no one's got it. Keep them coming. There's still a chance.
Okay, everybody gets to do a second number now.
All right, just keep throwing them. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, not yet. The suspense is crushing. We got an 11. Man, there's I must have picked a magic number here or something. Oh, there we go.
You got it.
So
is it a 5?
it's backwards, but it's a 5.
Okay, so Brian's got it. Even though Brian wrote down every other number, I think. Brian, do you want the Nest or the D6? Or would you rather have a vintage Griffin Air hat? He says guess.
He says guess. I'm taking Brian. You know Brian?
He joins us often.
He's a regular.
I feel like I know him. Okay, he's going with the hat. Okay. So
Nice.
we'll do another one in just a moment. We'll also be giving away the Milwaukee knife in just a moment. But I think I've already got your email, Brian. But in case I don't, send me your email. And those of you that win future prizes, just um send your email and all your information send your address and all your information to that email so we can make sure you get the right item. So Brian wants the hat. I've got plenty of hats. We could just do a hat
Congrats,
giveaway
Brian.
night. I got a pile
I
of
love it.
hats.
These are fun.
So yeah, I thought another cool thing we might do tonight, if I can find it, is show a young Joshy Pants, a young dreaming, wanting to a budding star, if you will, go back to the very beginning and
I
show
love
you
it.
guys the beginning, if I can find it.
I
I
love
just
looking at the
showed.
older stuff.
Uh-huh.
I love looking at the older stuff.
The old, yeah.
It's
It's very
amazing, like,
nostalgic.
the process of learning and doing this online thing. It's so there's a lot to learn. There was for me anyway.
You know, I mean, I'm sure that there's probably an expiration date on some of these websites that we're all on and using it these days. But do you know what a legacy video is, Tony?
Mm-mm.
So a legacy videos, it kind of sounds morbid, but it can be a lot of fun. And basically, it's where you sit down with one of your oldest relatives or sit down with an older relative and let them tell you some stories.
Mm.
And it becomes a family heirloom for a lot of families. You know, and so we did it with a grandfather of mine. But my point in saying that is social media, I feel like by design can almost allow you. I mean, I think it would be kind of cool to go back to my great 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 grandfather and see what he was having for lunch that day. Oh, he's taking pictures of his tacos. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I just
I
think
was
that'd be
funny. I was telling my wife that the other day, like, I wish I had some more photos and content from our life earlier. We really don't have a lot until we got the iPhones. Now we got a ton of it, but even then,
yeah.
there was a lot of stuff early on, like, especially starting this type of work, I wish I would have documented or, you know, especially back in the family. That would be incredible.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're getting ready to do another one. We did one with my grandfather, and we're gonna do one for my mom and her sister. Because they've got some crazy stories from their childhood. So I was like,
That's
well, we need
awesome.
to capture that before y'all go croaking. So
That's right.
that's not what I said, but you know,
I
they
know
knew
what you mean though.
they knew what I meant.
Sure. They meant they knew you meant what you said. Well, we'll
Uh,
all get there. We'll all get there. So
so while I'm looking for these old pictures, what's been going on with you? I know you were telling me y'all got some cool stuff coming, but what's new in your world?
we do. So I live in, for those who don't know, I live up in near Asheville, North Carolina. So we were hit pretty hard by the flood, at least our town of Marshall, North Carolina, which is down the hill from us. We're up the hill 1,000 feet elevation. So we, you know, our home was undamaged and we were undamaged, but we did lose our office and the whole city down there. Like the things you see on the news, it's legit. Like it was a crazy biblical flood. And, you know, so that was the lesson for me from 2004. And I try to share this whenever I can is be prepared for an emergency, right? Like I'm very fortunate. If I wasn't married to my wife, I'd probably not be here right now. She's like the prepper. She gets all the candles, the oil lamps, the radio, the flashlights, the batteries. So I would just say, like, if just get some stuff. You don't have to spend a lot of money to be prepared to live for a week, you know, which if literally, like, if you were up here and you were elderly and you didn't have a way to, you didn't have food or water in your apartment or your home, you could have died. I mean, it was that, like, when everything gets shut down for a week and you can't go anywhere and no one could get to you, it's really serious stuff. So we were fortunate to have those things. And that's my big lesson from 2024 is just get prepared. You don't have to go nuts. Get an AM/FM radio. I can't believe how many people don't have one of those. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if you're listening, that's a radio like with an antenna and batteries in it. If you're young. But anyway, that's from last year. So this year we've got the AHR Expo coming up next month, and you and I were just talking about that. So I'm excited to go there. I'm truly blessed. I have a job. I've been in the industry for 25 years, and I get to go do video and do interviews of the major manufacturers in the country that we represent at our brands. And I do that for our channel HVAC TV. So it's a lot of fun. It's like our Super Bowl for us. So I'm looking forward to that.
Is that so? Do y'all have anything like? Do y'all roll out anything at that, or I mean, I know y'all don't necessarily manufacture things, or at least on the level of some of these other folks. But is it ever like a, hey, this year we're rolling out this?
Not really for us. So in terms of rolling things out, our company is growing. So I work for our parent company is called Air Control Concepts, and it owns a whole family of operating companies. So Insight Partners is one of them, Hobbs and Associates, really big, major commercial HVAC rep firm. So we have what we call a partnership event on Saturday. It's kind of a private thing for us and our our manufacturers and our brands. So we do that, which is a big party we have. So that's our big rollout. Like we introduce the new companies and stuff like that. But in terms of, we don't show at the show itself because we're not manufacturers. We're reps of the product. So.
Yeah. I went to AHR a couple years ago. I did a YouTube video on it, and I had never been, and it was pretty eye-opening how big it is. You don't realize how big our industry is until you put them all under one roof, and you can't do it really. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really incredible the amount of people that go there and the amount of products that manufacture. And it always shocks me how many mini split manufacturers are. There's probably 100 of them there's not 100, but there's a lot of them, and a lot of them you don't even know who they are. But a lot of products, trying to make their way. And I love seeing the new people. There's a lot of folks who have invented something. They're trying to grow something. They're bringing it to the show, and it's a big expense because it's not cheap. So I try to save the last day to hit up do as we're talking about it, I'm thinking I'm going to do a whole segment on up and comers or new technology. Let's try to help these people and see what it's all about. See if it's, cause some of it is going to get traction if it brings value. Some of it doesn't. And the sooner they know both of those paths, the better for them and the industry. So
I think the other thing, and I'm not sure AHR is the only place that this can happen, but AHR gives as a country that always seems to be late to the party on a lot of things, it gives these other imported technologies an opportunity to say, here we are, like you said, new players or new things in the room to say, here, here's what we're doing. This is interesting and cool and different. I'm a big fan of that. I know not everyone in our industry is, but I think as long as we're not forced to do things, then I'm all for new things and new technologies and so on. I think that it certainly has its advantages for sure. So
yeah, it's always interesting to see they've got spies at those shows, and there's people who man the booths to keep the spies out, and the spies are the ones who are coming in and they got their camera, because you're not supposed to take photos unless you have written explicit permission from the manufacturers, like if you're doing the video in their booth. But some of them go around to take photos and stuff, and they bring it back to the factory and they try to copy it. So there's that. It's always, you could spot it look at that guy's doing so.
Yeah, we so I was super scared of that, because you kind of get you get your your little name tag, which I actually have mine on the desk, even though it doesn't seem like I'm gonna go. But so when they send this all that to you, there's disclaimers that's don't be recording in here. So I was super scared. I was I'm not even gonna take a camera with me other than my phone. And I think I did take a couple small videos that I had permission to from one of our sponsors. But other than that, I was super scared. but then I get back and I see all these other YouTubers posting videos left and right of
Yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
they recorded, and I was like, well, I guess they don't police it that hard.
So the rules are you can record at the booth if the booth's okay with it. You could also get a press pass. Like we get a press pass, which gives you, they have a really nice, I found this out last year for the first time, but they have a really nice press room with like a buffet, and you could sit down on the couch and rest your feet after walking all day. So you'll want to get one of those. But yeah, my experience is at the booth is fine. If you can't walk around and just do random stuff, but people do it just to get some B-roll and stuff like that. But
yeah. Well, I found my pictures, but we're moving quick, man. It's already 9 o'clock, so it's just funny,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, just you get rolling, and you don't even time just flies. So let's do another quick giveaway, and it looks like we've got 15 people in the chat now. So let's do basically the same thing, but well, yeah, let's basically do the same thing, and so we've got. The next person can, pick from the 2 thermostats that I've got. I also have a Milwaukee knife. And the Milwaukee knife that I have, just so you know, is it's the 48. So 48, 22, 15, 30 is the model number on it. Trying to get it pulled up on our screen here. Add to stage. Here we go. So it kind of looks like this. I don't have a picture of the actual one because it's in a friend of mine's office, but he was kind enough to say, I was like, I'm looking for stuff to give away. He's like, I got a knife. So it's still in the packaging. It's brand new. And you can also select that.
So can you win 2 prizes, Joshua? Can the same person win again?
Oh,
what's your thoughts?
That's a really good question. I hadn't given that a lot of thought. Probably we'll say no for this. Brian's pretty cool, so he's not going to care.
Spread the love a little bit.
He's not going to care. He's probably going to love that knife, but he won't care. So, all right, so let's do this. So if you wouldn't mind writing down a number, Tony, between 1 and 15. Looks like our chat dropped a little, but we'll still say 1 through 15. And as soon as you do that, just yell go.
Go for it. 1 through 15, folks, Milwaukee knife at a friend's office.
Yeah, that he sent me this picture, so it's legit.
There's proof. Oh, we got a winner.
You already have a winner. Who's your winner?
Taylor Brown.
Taylor. Okay. So Taylor, you get a choice between a hat.
I got to show the picture. 9. That's a 9.
You get a choice from a vintage Griffin Air hat, a Nest, a Honeywell D6 that's open, and a Milwaukee knife, spring-loaded knife.
Nice.
See what she selects. Watch the day you do a big giveaway. You're going to be giving away cars. You're going to blow me away. Tony's
no, we give away away tumblers. So we're in the same. We give away hats and stuff too. So
she says, "What do you think is the best?" Well, I know which one's the most expensive out of all of them. But I will say these 2 things are both obsolete. You can't buy these anymore, and you ain't gonna ever see these anymore. But the Nest thermostat is probably the most expensive thing out of all 4 of those. So she said, "What is the Nest?" It's just it's the Nest E, I think it is. It's a Wi-Fi capable thermostat.
It's like the iPhone of thermostats.
Yeah,
that's the way I think of it.
You see, you got the little G logo up there. She says, "I'm thinking Nest." So Taylor, just send me your your info, your address and everything, does it require an iPhone to connect to it? No, it does not. And I'll put the email in here again, but yeah, just send me your info, your address and everything, and I'll send that to you. So Taylor wins the Nest. We're gonna do another giveaway at the very end, Tony, that I'm holding out on. And I will allow folks, Taylor and Brian, to win that as well. So
nice.
Yeah, I tell you, I was going through my office and I have almost like this graveyard of thermostats, thermostats that either they sent me and they want me to do a video on it, or I just acquired it and decided to do a video on it. But all these different thermostats, and I was like, half of them, the box is ripped open, and I'm like, nobody wants this, nobody wants that's what my wife's like, yeah, you're just trying to give away your junk.
Oh man, the Nest is nice.
Yeah,
and the hat's the knife, but
it was one of the only ones in here that I have not opened. I've got one more, but the other one I might do videos on. But I do want to, it's very early. I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but since we talked about the Honeywell D6, and by the way, if you just joined us, I saw the chat numbers just changed. We will be doing a big giveaway in a little bit for celebration of hitting 150,000 subscribers. But, and I apologize, Tony, if any companies I mention are a direct competitor of yours, but the ink is still wet, but we just signed a new sponsor this past week, and so we're very early on, because it's like my old boss used to say, nothing, it's not sold until check is in hand. So they have not sent us payment yet, but as far as I can tell, everything is good to go. But to play off of the D6, which I don't even know why they ever made these obsolete, other than they did have bad reviews online. But in my company, we put a couple dozen of these in, and they all worked fine. But anyway, the new sponsor we have is like the newest, most improved version of the D6. And I don't know if you've heard of this company, Tony, but it's a company called Boulder. Have you heard of them?
I have not heard of them. They make thermostats?
Yeah, they make
Controls?
thermostats specifically for ductless systems. I'm trying to pull up what they look like. Is that gonna work? Which screen do I want here? I'm trying to pull up the screen where we both can see, and I'm not seeing it. There's a screen where we both
magical screens. I hear you.
Yeah, there's a screen. Oh, it's this one. Okay. But it's not sharing now. Of course it's not going to share.
This is like every live show I do. Hold on, we're trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah. It's the screen sharing that always gets me with this system. It always, and it can't be speed. They used to always tell me, oh, it's your speeds. It ain't my speeds. I get speeds that are like, I switched internet services. I've got Elon's internet now, and I ran a hard cable, and I can do a speed test, and it's like, 100 and some megabytes or whatever it is, download speed, and I think 15 or 20 upload speed. So it's not that. So I don't know, but
it's anyway, a miracle any of this stuff ever works ever. So
amen.
Little problems. There's little problems. It's just all part of it.
But Boulder, they have one of the coolest thermostats. It'll work with just about any ductless product. So any ductless product that you use a remote for, which is most of them, this thermostat will work with. And they also make this really cool heater. So we're going to be doing more videos for them coming up, but I just thought I'd highlight them just because I think, so this is like I don't know if you can see that, but see the is it going to do it? There it goes. See how that
There you go.
thermostat almost
Yep.
has like a mirror like face?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of neat.
Looks nice.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing videos for them coming up. And Brian says, "Can I try it? I have 4 ductless heads." Yes, of course you can try it. But I will not be signing it.
That's too pretty
Um,
for a signature.
yeah, I don't know if you can
Yeah, I can
see
see
that.
it.
But yeah, it's pretty
Oh, so
snazzy
this
looking thermostat.
is that can you change the display on there, or is it a mirror? It's a mirror in the apartment or
I think
the
they've got a
house?
couple different. I think they have a dark one and a light one, and then the mirror like
Okay,
one.
I like it. Architects will like that.
Yeah,
For some
yeah.
reason, architects don't like the look of HVAC equipment. I don't know what's wrong with them, but
I don't blame them with the
I
way
mean,
some of them look. Uh, we're not doing ourselves any favor with the design of some of these things. So I
I
probably
know it.
shouldn't have said that. I think they all look great, but
That's
some of them
right.
I just like, they could have tried a little. You could tell engineers think logically and less about the aesthetics sometimes.
Yeah,
So
like we want enough room to change the filter and minor things like that.
yeah,
You got to have
we
enough
don't
room to put a fan in the unit. That's helpful.
yeah, we don't need all that. Who cares how good it works? We need it to look good.
That's right.
So anyway, um I'm trying to keep up with our chat a little bit. Saw where they were talking about a couple different things, but yeah, I'm a little bummed out. I'm not going to make it to AHR. I really wanted to go this year, but some job stuff I think is going to get in the way. But I think I'm going to vow to definitely make it next year, because next year I think is Las Vegas, isn't it?
Next year's Vegas, and then the year after that is Chicago, which is where it was last year, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It was really cold, but I don't know. There's something about it that was a lot of fun to be in the big city. Vegas is nice too because you get all spread out and you get to go to all the parties. But I did last year, the first day of the show, I caught COVID Monday about 4 o'clock. Our brand manager, Heather Robinson, looked at me. She's like, "You don't look good." I said, "I don't feel good." And I went to the hotel and I didn't leave till Thursday. It
Oh
was
my gosh.
crazy. So
And
you
that
know how it
was
is when you're traveling, you get around the crowds, you never know. You just get sick. So
this past year or the year before?
yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, okay. The Chicago one.
the Chicago one. So I'm gonna make up
Oh,
for it this year. Hopefully. I'm praying about it. Gonna take a bunch of vitamins too. So
there you go. There you go. Huh. Yeah, I've only ever been to the one in Atlanta, and they're not doing it in Atlanta anymore, I don't think. So, or at least that's what I was told. So, um, Brian says I had that issue in Vegas, except it was liquor.
yeah, do a lot worse in Vegas than getting sick, that's for sure.
Yep, they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I don't think that's always true. STDs do not stay in Vegas, Tony.
Yeah, be careful. I get up.
Yeah.
It's funny. I get up really early, and one morning I got up and I was still in my sweatpants and whatever t-shirt I slept in, and I went downstairs. You don't put coffee in the room. You have to go to the casino to get everything because they wanted to suck you into the tables. And I went down there to get some coffee, and it was like, I don't know, 6 in the morning, but it was packed, and everybody was like all dressed up, and all these women were in these beautiful dresses, and here I am in like my pajamas trying to get some coffee. It's just like crazy. It's a different world, that's for sure.
And then
But it's a lot of fun.
all those people are like, "It's Tony Mormino, the host of HVAC TV."
None of those people knew anything about HVAC. Trust me.
Have you ever been recognized anywhere that you weren't expecting to get recognized?
AHR, we get tons of recognition. You would too there, I'm sure. It's just like it's fun. I love that part of it because it answers the question, how do you know people in your community are seeing it? And that now I can answer that question after going to a few shows. But yeah, we do it up too. We got like the big camera rig, and I got 2 assistants, and they're walking around. We look a lot more important than we are, trust me. Like we put a staff shirt on them with the logo, and people are like, who are these guys? And when you're filming at the booth, it's crazy because this big crowd comes around because they think they're like there's something. So it's a ton. We have a ton of fun with it. We just love it. We have a great time. We have the nice 4K camera rig, which looks real professional. And then we have someone with the iPhone that just takes the B-roll stuff. And usually that does better than the nice camera roll. But anyway, so yeah, we get some recognition. I'm sure you do too when you go to HVAC events.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but I did have a guy in an airport not long ago just randomly said, "You do
That's
HVAC?"
great.
And I was like, I came home and told my wife I'm a big deal, you know. She always she always says if you have to
That's
tell
right.
people you're a big deal, then you're not. But you know, I had to tell her once again, I am a big deal. So
That's right. This is a funny story. So 2 years ago, my wife went to the Atlanta one, the one you were talking about. I think that was 2 years ago.
uh-huh.
And we had our big partnership party. And as soon as the doors open, like this guy comes in and he's like, "Oh, I just love what you're doing." Blah, blah." And it was right in front of my wife. And I'm like, "Oh, this is perfect." Then he walks away. And then 2 minutes later, like another guy walks up. So this happened and these are all people I work with. So they kind of know me through that avenue. But my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, you're like the king of the nerds around here. Like these people actually." So that kind of stuck with us. We should put that on the back of our shirt actually at the show, King of the Nerds. But
Ooh, that's
but it's
actually
fun.
that might be good branding I mean, we both already kind of have our brands, but HVAC nerd, that could be like a good brand for somebody.
Yeah, for sure. But it's
So
tons of fun. I really love using these tools today to help build our brand at work, and help the manufacturers we represent build their brand and get the recognition is just like icing on the cake. So it's tons of fun. We got a small community, and a lesson if you're watching this, you don't need to be real big online if you're in a niche, like we are. You don't have to be like a Mr. Beast and have 1 million followers to still get, have people in your niche see it. So it's a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah. Brian says Brian Orr is king. So I don't think any of us debate that. He's the OG. So it's Brian Orr and then the rest of us. That's what I say. So
Is Brian the HVAC school guy?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the OGs for sure.
Yep. There's a couple other guys with maybe bigger channels, but probably not as recognizable. So yeah. I mean, I don't think there's too many. If you are in the heating and air industry and you've never watched one of Brian's videos, you either A, don't want to be better, you don't want to get better, or B, or maybe you just don't know how to work a smartphone, right? I mean, maybe there's some old timers out there and they've never watched one of his videos. But other than that, you'd pretty much be having to be hiding under a rock at that point, I feel like. So but there was something else I was going to look up and now I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember. Oh, I know what I was going to look up. So, cause we're going to do another giveaway in just a moment. Let's go ahead and do that, Tony. Let's, so we've still got our D6 here. We still got our knife. So we got a Milwaukee knife. And then we've got Griffin Air hats. And then we'll do this one more giveaway, and then we'll give our big item away that everyone will still be able to qualify for, including folks that have already won stuff. So let's see. We've got 14 people in the chat at the moment. So if you JC says, who is the HVAC Jedi master? That'd be Tony, I guess.
No.
It might be JC.
Not at all.
I don't know if you've seen the video I did with JC yet, but we've got one coming out next week. Or no, tomorrow. We've got a new one. JC, look on the new channel tomorrow. The new one hits. But he is a smart. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, slow down, JC. You're up here, and my knowledge is down here. You gotta dumb it down a little bit for me. But we're doing. I don't know if you've seen our new stuff yet, Tony. But on our new channel, simply called HVAC Guide. It's not for homeowners. But we're doing bite-sized videos on how to do certain things, such as use a ductulator or size a return, or just really trying to just dumb it down for guys like
Love
me.
it. Yeah.
And not be quite so, you're not going to leave one video and know how to do everything, but hopefully just kind of make it a little more bite sized. And
Love it.
so, but anyway, yeah. So do you have a new number written down between 1 and 15?
I'm ready. What are we giving away?
So they get to pick between the D6, the new but opened D6, a Griffin Air vintage hat, or the Milwaukee unopened new knife that I showed you guys. Let me pull that back up.
Nice. So Tyler got the Nest, right?
Taylor got the Nest. Yes.
Taylor, sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. So we already have numbers rolling in, but have you written down a number yet, Tony?
I do have a number.
Okay.
And it's not 8, 11, 13, or 2. So
Okay.
1 through 15. Go on and get those numbers in. Oh, we have okay, so Taylor Brown.
Uh-huh.
The number's 12. So
Taylor's the one that won the Nest, right?
Yeah. Why don't we
Taylor.
give it to we'll give it to someone else. Oh, I already showed the number. Screwed it up.
Let's give it to Renee. Renee had 11. She was one number off. So Renee.
All right. Price is Right rules.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making up stuff as I go.
I love it.
Probably upsetting the masses now, but she was only one number off, and she was there before Taylor was. So Taylor still qualifies for the large item we're about to give away in just a moment. But Renee, send me your address, and I'm going to put the email address you want to send it to in the chat. So send it to that email address. Send me all your information, your address, and everything. Brian says he's upset. Why are you upset, pal? You want a hat tonight. But
authentic hat too.
Ryan says he was one off. He was the second 11 that came in. What did you say?
Not just any hat. Vintage.
Not just any hat. The hat.
Vintage. Old school.
Okay, and that was, we said Renee. Where did she go? Here we go. Renee won. What do you want, Renee? Do you want the D6, the Milwaukee knife, or a hat? Let us know. As we wait on that, we are going to do a big giveaway in just a moment, or at least I think it's pretty big. Bigger than anything else we've given away tonight. So, and it will be something I'm going to come out of pocket on, if you will. So
nice.
Hopefully Renee's still here. She's like, she threw her number in and was like, this is boring, and then dipped out. And she wants the D6. Okay, cool.
What's all this air conditioner talk? There she goes, D6. Congrats, Renee.
So, let's see. And I'll tell you what, Brian, I had not offered I'm going to give everybody a hat. So everybody that won a thermostat, Brian wanted a hat, but I'll do a hat. And then Brian, message me if you want the knife too, the Milwaukee knife. So, if you want it, you'll get the hat and the knife. But yeah, we're going to do the large item in just a moment, and everyone is still available. Ryan, send me your email. Ryan, I'll send you a hat, buddy. I've got plenty of hats. I've also got plenty of tumblers. Speaking of tumblers, the lady that worked for me, I don't know if you've ever had co-op dollars or budgeted dollars, Tony, lose it or use it or lose it type thing.
That's right.
But we had co-op dollars, and we were going to lose them. So she ordered, I think at the time, we've given a ton of them away. So I'm down to like 300 or 200 left. But I think at one point we had like 550 Griffin Air tumblers, which, I mean, I only had like 10 employees at the time. So it's not like, I mean, you give everybody 2 tumblers, including all of your customers, and you still got 300 left over. I mean, it was
a bunch, right?
It was crazy. So, yeah, we'll do a hat and a tumbler for all of our winners tonight. And when we hit 250,000 subscribers, that is going to be our next big giveaway. We're going to do a huge giveaway for that. Our last huge one, we gave away probably $4,000 worth of stuff that night.
Nice.
Maybe not quite four, but definitely I would say easily $3,000 worth of stuff between our sponsors, others. I mean, it was just crazy. So we'll probably do that again when we hit 250,000 subscribers. So obviously I hope and pray that we do, because now, this video will be out there of me going, when we get there. Um, so we'll do the
Right.
big item in a little bit, but let's do this. If we do every show, we end it the same way, and we're not ending yet, but we will be soon. And that is, we all know there's some bad apples in our industry, but if you know a good one, if you know a good heating and air, plumbing, or electrical company, wherever they're located, drop their name in the chat, where they're located. Let's show the good ones some love. And you never know, somebody in your area might see your message and you might be able to show them a little more than love. So drop those names in the chat. And looks like we've jumped up to 16 people in here now. So we will be giving away a large item in just a moment. But yeah,
Nice.
any parting words, Tony? Any wisdom you can drop on us?
Oh, I don't know how much wisdom I have, but yeah, be prepared. Like we were talking about earlier, that's the only wisdom I got. But yeah, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun, and congrats on your 150.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's amazing. I would say since we're talking to a lot of homeowners on here, potentially, the story you shared in the beginning, make sure who you're hiring is legit. Try to get some references on them and follow up. And, the cheapest guy isn't always the best, the best solution. I'm all for saving a buck myself, but if you get 3 quotes and one of them's really, really a lot less, be careful. Just be careful is all I'm saying. So, what do you think about that?
Folks.
Yeah. Once you get a system installed wrong, it's a real problem.
Yeah, I saw a video today, and I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I want to do a reaction video to it. And it looks like our chat has now jumped up to 18 people. So if you're here joining us in the chat, don't go anywhere. We're going to give away a large item in just a moment for celebrating 150,000 subscribers. But Brian says Valley-wide home improvements in Central California. Ryan says super cool HVAC Charlotte. Renee says Gen Air in Nevada. I don't know that this is a company, Brian. Are you cheating? Daikin VRV, Fujitsu VRF, Richmond. But Bob says, sorry I'm late. Come on, Bob. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing a reaction video because this guy just made a video, and a nice guy. I mean, I don't have anything bad about him to say about him personally, but he did a video called HVAC Guys Hate for You to Know This. And essentially the video is him putting in a heating and air system, and I can see like 10 things wrong. And I'm like, you're not helping anybody. You're hurting I don't hate you because you're giving away secrets. I'm not a fan of your video because you're not doing things properly. And
Yeah.
And there's this misnomer in our industry where people will say, oh, well, it works, well, yeah, it works for now, but what about that indoor fan motor that fails within a year? Or what about, I don't know, compressor failure
I'm with
within
you.
2 years,
I mean, some of it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
With the flus and stuff like that. But yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
I haven't had a reaction video done to me yet, so I'm excited about that. But I have gotten a lot of corrections in the comments, and it's funny. It's like, even after 25 years of doing this, I'll say something and I won't say, because a lot of times when you're doing content, you're not writing down the script and doing all that. There's just not a lot of time for that. And you understand that. But you might use one word or you might use another word. Like, this is so wrong. Well, I'm like, well, it's not so wrong. I got the word right. So I take
All
it
the
though,
time.
but sometimes they're right. Like, and I'm like, ooh, I never thought of it that way. I guess I could be wrong in some scenario, but anyway, so I get what you're saying for sure.
I literally just did a video not long ago talking about the ideal range in humidity. And a bunch of people are like, well, I live in the Arctic up in Canada, and this doesn't apply to us. And I'm like, well, I don't live in the Arctic, first of all, but second of all,
Neither
I
does 99% of your viewers, right?
right, exactly. So it's like, give me a little grace here. I wasn't sorry I got that one thing wrong, but yeah, all the time. In fact, I've had to take videos down because, I'm not perfect, so if I say
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that's just ill advised or incorrect, then I don't want to be putting bad information out there. So,
yeah.
um, and I shouldn't say this, but I have personally talked to other YouTubers who do not feel the same way. There, I've talked to one fella in particular where he's like, "Hey, if the views keep coming in, I don't really care." And I'm like, "Yeah, but that's not good or that's not right." He's like, "I don't really care. I got 20,000 views on that video last week."
Mm,
And like, got it. Okay. we're not all created equal on that. So
yeah, I like to be accurate
Bill
for
says
sure.
I live in Montreal, Canada. Sorry, Bill. I was not talking about you, pal. Wasn't talking about you. So
None of your fan, no one watching right now. You're not talking about anyone
yeah,
watching.
yeah. I'm talking about those other Canadian folks that were getting on me about my humidity, uh, recommendations.
Mm,
So let's
right.
do this. It is 9:30. It's past my bedtime. Tony stays up till 3 a.m. every night, but it is past my bedtime. So let's do this. Let's give away one last thing that I'm going to come out of pocket on, and that is a $100 Amazon gift card. Just to say thank you to you guys. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. So
Nice.
I'm gonna do that $100 Amazon gift card that I'll send to, and everybody can win this. So we've got 21 folks in the chat currently. So let's once Tony has a number written down, just yell go and we'll do it.
All right. And I won't make my son get on and put the number down. I won't tell him. Okay, the number's ready. Let's go. 1 through 15.
Oh, you went 1 through 15. Okay, so we should find
Oh,
somebody quick.
wait, what was this supposed to be? 1 through what? Hold on, start over. Did I do it?
Start over.
Totally
So,
screwed it up.
well, no, you're good. I just so I always do it however many people are in the chat. So
Oh, sorry. Okay.
so that way if everybody gets one number in, hypothetically, hopefully they all put a different number, but we both know that ain't going to happen. So not sorry guys, all the numbers that are in there right now, including Brian's 76, do not count.
That was it. That's what I had. 76. Okay, we're gonna start over. So you
All
tell
right,
me
so
the range again. I apologize. Sorry, everybody.
you're good. So the number keeps changing quickly, but we currently have 19 people in the chat. So
All right, so
19,
it's 1 through 19, right?
1 through 19, pick a number, any number 1 through 19, and uh as soon as he says go. So Bob wrote 26, which doesn't count. Or no, Brian wrote 19, doesn't count. So any numbers, nope, we've still got more numbers coming in.
I have to say go, folks.
Yeah, once Tony says go. So any number that comes in after Brian's number 1. Oh, still
Okay,
got
we're
people
starting
rolling in.
right now. Go.
Okay, so any number that comes in after Brian's
It
7 now.
starts now. Okay, Tyler.
Taylor won another. Nice.
Taylor. I keep saying Tyler. I'm so sorry. Taylor.
No, it's okay. She's got it going on. So Taylor got it with number 1, and that is the number. So wow. So cool. So Taylor gets the $100 gift card, Amazon gift card. And I do want to just say, when I started, I tried to show some pictures of when I got started, you know, earlier, but it did not work. And but I do want to say, when I started making YouTube videos, It was just it was a hobby. It was this isn't, if I get, one person to watch my video and it helps them, that's the goal, right? I feel like that's how we just about all of us start. But, it's grown into something fun. It's grown into something. I feel like we're maybe not a good one, but we are having an impact on the industry. Not always good, right? But I do just want to say from the bottom of my heart, genuinely, that I do appreciate you guys watching our videos. Every time you comment, subscribe, like it, all that stuff, it helps me and my little family out. So believe it or not, all those things that are free for you to do help Tony and I. If you like Tony's stuff, if you watch his stuff, it does help us out. So thank you to you guys. Everybody that won something one last time, I'm going to put the email to this is actually not my email, but my team gets it, and they will make sure that you get your items that you guys won. So Taylor's got the Nest. She's the big winner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
She got the Nest and the gift card. And then
Nice.
I know some of you even said you wanted hats and stuff. So we're going to do another big giveaway once we hit 250,000 subscribers. And way bigger than this. It'll be huge. We might even throw a kegger, Tony. Do you know what a kegger is? Do they have keggers down in the mountain?
I unfortunately know what a kegger is from my earlier days. No one ever woke up and said, "Man, I'm so glad I went to that kegger last night."
Yeah. When I was a kid, you would grab the top of the keg and then people would lift your legs up.
For sure.
Yeah. And so these days,
but I can't remember what it's called.
Keg stand, maybe. I don't know.
Keg stand. That's it. That's what it is.
But if you were to do that to me now, I think you would hear a crack and then you'd hear me start crying and then I'd probably fall on my head. So,
let me tell you, if I woke up from a kegger hangover right now, I'd go to the hospital. Like that's how.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be safe out there. Be safe out there, youngsters.
Anybody that wants a hat or a Griffin Air tumbler, just send me your email and we'll make sure you get one. So that goes for everybody because I've got a pile of them. Well, hats, I probably only have a couple hats left, but tumblers, I've got hundreds of them. So if you want a tumbler, just send me your email and I will send you a tumbler. So even if you see this video in the future, just shoot me an email and I'll get you a tumbler. So, but cool. Well, thank you guys again.
Please get a tumbler.
Yeah, we'll litter the United States
room in the warehouse
with and Canada, the U.S. and Canada with Griffin Air tumblers. So
there you go.
Well, good enough. Well, thanks
congrats
again, Tony.
man. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, man. And for the rest of you, I will be back next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and we'll probably be catching up on the HVAC news. There's a lot of stuff happening these days, Tony. So
yes, sir.
At all levels. So a whole lot happening, and we'll be back. So
awesome.
For the rest of you, wherever you are in the country, if you're somewhere cold, bring your pets inside and stay warm. In the meantime, thanks again, Tony. Thanks to the rest of you. Make it a great week. Take care.